Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now September 27th of 2022, and with Andor's episode 1 through 3 now out on Disney+, we also have episode 4 arriving tomorrow, which is going to actually enhance the story further. And by the way, we also have Tales of the Jedi releasing on October 26th. That's going to conclude the 2022 year of Star Wars TV shows. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing that a lot of fans have been very curious about for a very long time is exactly how Disney executives are going to be dragging in Star Wars Legends into the official canon under Disney. Now, we already know that Jon and Dave are very busy with all of that and making all of that possible behind the scenes by really allowing all of the Legends content to come back in as accurately as possible and in ways that fans would never even imagine. So there's a lot of things, happening behind the scenes, a lot of changes and adjustments being done by Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, and how he's allowing Favreau and Filoni to do whatever they want to do with all of their upcoming Star Wars shows. And with Favreau getting that recent promotion over at Lucasfilm, that basically gave him, the power that Kathleen Kennedy has, because he's getting more and more in control of not just the marketing, but also the budgeting of all these new Star Wars TV shows and more. So with that being said, what's even all the more intriguing has a lot to do with what Favreau recently had to say about the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show when he was actually questioned about his role in the Star Wars universe and making new Star Wars shows, and what he thought about the Kenobi series by Joby Harold and Deborah Chow. Now, with Favreau currently very busy with The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, Filoni is also working around the clock for the Ahsoka show to give fans a unique and brand new experience for the fandom. However, it's described that in a recent interview with Jon Favreau, he was eventually questioned about his thoughts on the Kenobi TV series, to where he gave a negative opinion and bad review of the actual show once again to the fandom and told fans how he would have handled things differently. Favreau went on to state the following to the fans: "Why, yes, I got to check out that series because we really wanted to support Deborah Chow's work with the series. But this show, to me as a fan and a creator, felt out of place to me, and I would have certainly done things differently with the story and the outcomes of some of the main characters in the show. I feel as if many of the characters in the show either were not needed and or needed way more character development to work in a show like this. I was very aware that this was a series that was in production hell for many years before it even became a series. I recently got the chance to speak with Stuart, the original writer, and we both discussed all the different things we would have done differently with the show. I think that in some ways, this installment devalued Kenobi as a character a bit. It was as if he wasn't able to make his own choices in certain circumstances, and that to me needed to be excluded big time and was a big mistake on Joby's end. All respect to him." Now let me just pause here quick of what Favreau is saying before I get to the next bit. Now, Favreau is obviously a very respectful guy. He's never gonna shoot down Joby Harold or Deborah Chow or any kind of creator, right? He's being very, respectful about the whole situation, about the fan backlash over the Kenobi series, what happened with the Kenobi show, and how it really just did not do all that well, universally speaking, right? Now, when you look at Jon Favreau, this is a guy that's very much in tune with the franchise just as much as George Lucas is, right up there. He's pretty much equal to how much, George knows about the franchise, even though he's the creator. Now, given that Favreau is openly stating that he believes that this show devalued Kenobi because many times in the show, Kenobi was not able to make his own choices and or decisions in the show. And I think a lot of that is pointing toward him indirectly talking about Leia there. That's what I think. But there was a lot of obstacles with this series. I mean, he even openly admits that this was an actual installment that was in what he calls production hell. And it was. It was really in limbo for many years. It was first a movie, then it became a trilogy, then it became a series, then that series backtracked to not even being a series and just getting cancelled, and then it went back into production as another show as well. So this project has been in the works for a very long time. I'm talking about back in 2018, they were working back and forth on this show, Andor movie or trilogy, with many different phases of development, and it took a very long time to get where they are now, and it's just so unfortunate that it led to where the fans perceive the show the way that they do now. So, I want to continue on with what Favreau said here. He goes on to say the following, too. It's tough being a creator, but this series felt too tight, too short, and needed more room for a story. I know fans have heard me say this before, but to me it's all about pacing and giving a character value to tell a great story and the true conflicts that they need to face. Batie's vision for the Kenobi story, however, was absolutely beautiful. I got to spend like 2 hours talking to him all about it, and he had so many brilliant ideas that saddened me that got unused for the story. So, once again, Favreau putting it out there that he favored Stuart Batie's script over what Joby Harold had done with the final version of the show. Now, Stuart Batie originally had no Inquisitors. He had a version of Reva that was very much different, including Reva's fate at the hands of Darth Vader. And there were also a lot of other things that were going to involve, other characters out there. As we had discussed, there were a lot of storyboards, including Mace Windu surviving in the form of flashbacks at Order 66, and all these different things for the Kenobi movie trilogy. But I think what Jon Favreau is pertaining to is that he is just going over the fact that Stuart is a real diehard Star Wars fan. And by the way, guys, he is. I mean, this guy's a huge Star Wars fan. It's just very unfortunate that we got a writer like Joby Harold that openly said that he never watched Revenge of the Sith from point A to point B, or never watched the prequel trilogy movies entirely at all. And it just kind of depresses a lot of people as fans that Disney and/or Kathleen Kennedy at the time got writers like this that openly say that they never spent the time to watch the content. The same exact thing, by the way, goes as Rupert Friend, the guy who played the Grand Inquisitor, said that he never watched the Clone Wars, and he never felt like he needed to bother watching the Clone Wars to get familiar with his character. And I think it says a lot about the actors that they chose back in the day, and most recently, and how some of the creators too just have no interest in this franchise. It's just a specific job or role for them. And from an actor and actress's standpoint and their point of view, I can understand that to a degree. But I gotta tell you, when it comes to Star Wars, it's a whole new ballgame. So, with that being said, Favreau really making it clear here that, he would have definitely done things differently. He felt that Kenobi was devalued. He felt that Kenobi did not get to make his own decisions and/or choices, and I agree with a lot of that. I feel that Kenobi really should have had more oomph, with that character, and I think that he is right, that this story was just way too short, too tight. I agree with what he said there, and I felt like it needed to be longer. Like at least 9 episodes, which, by the way, was the original plan. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.